Have you ever wondered what it's like and how to invest in stocks? Well, this video is for you. And if you're new, then of course, I do cover a lot of other things, including stock deep dives and other content that you might be interested in. And let's get into it. So let's not waste any time. So I assume you're here because you're wondering what it's like and how to get started in the stock market, but you don't know where to begin. So I'm going to teach you everything that I think a beginner would need to know in terms of investing. Now, of course, I'm not a financial expert, so of course, please do your own research because I'd rather you do your own research instead of cover what I say and use that as an investment guide, basically, because I'm not a financial expert and you could lose your money, and that's what investing is like. But we'll cover that. So, what are stocks? So, here is like a nice little graph or a graphic of what's our stocks. So basically, let's start with the basics. So stocks, also called as shares, represent ownership in a company. Now, when you buy a share of a company, you own a small piece of it. If the company grows and becomes more valuable, your shares increase in value. There are many companies that also pay dividends, which are portions of their profits paid to shareholders. And those are the three key words that you need to see on the top right of the screen. So, type of stocks, you've got growth stocks, which are usually fast growing industries and have potentials to give shareholders greater returns. You've got value stocks. These are companies with growth potential that are currently selling at a low price relative to their instinctive value. Income stocks, which don't really get share price growth, but normally pay steady dividends. Blue chip stocks, which are stocks of large, well-known companies with good reputations and strong records of profit growth. And of course, you've got penny stocks, which are very risky, inexpensive, and they could be basically have short and erratic performance. And normally, a lot of people, that's where they lose their money. So stocks do come at risks, but why invest? Why invest in stocks? You must be wondering. Well, here's a graph from Fidelity International. Probably said that wrong. Fidelity. The orange line is your cash, and the blue line is global shares. Now, if I invested £1,000 in 2000, or basically on New Year's Eve of 1999, my cash would have just only been reached just below 2k in 2025. Well, if I did the exact same thing in global shares and stocks, basically, well, I'd be sitting on literally 5k, which is a big difference from what your cash would be in. So there's a big benefit right in front of you. There is potential for higher returns than savings accounts or bonds because your money compounds over time and it grows faster and faster. And of course, you could get a passive income through your dividends. And of course, it gives you the ability to invest in companies you believe in or may know of. Now, please remember stocks do come with a risk. Prices do go down as well as up. So that's why it's important to start smart. So how do you get started? Well, for example, you want to choose your broker. So for beginners, you need to buy a broker. Need a broker to buy shares. Don't need to buy the broker. You can do if you want to invest in Robinhood, because I know they are on the stock market. So there's a few options on the screen. So you've got Trading 212, eToro, Robinhood, XTB, and examples. Well, I mainly use eToro, but we're also going to cover Robinhood as well because I've made an account with Robinhood for today's episode. And if you want to know what Robinhood is like, then of course, here is a nice little video for you. Now, if you want to pick Robinhood as your main broker after watching this video, then of course, as you can see, Robinhood is got easy access to ISAs, early to rise, and basically other options as well in terms of leveling up your trading and your investment portfolio. And of course, if you do want to pick Robinhood and you want to get some free stocks, then of course sign up with the link down below. It will come up with this page saying your gift stock is waiting for you, that I've invited you. And when you sign up, you'll get that gift stock. So of course, do not miss out on the opportunity to get free shares and free stocks in your portfolio without having to spend your own money. But of course, you do need to make an account and fund it to be able to get your gift stock. But I hope you guys did enjoy the little brief review of Robinhood. Let's get back into it. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cover both eToro and Robinhood in more specific detail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over into eToro and I will meet you on there. We are on eToro. This is what the eToro page looks like. I am on my virtual portfolio just for today's episode, just so it can hide the real money portfolio for my later episodes and videos. Now, as you can see, I have a profit and loss of -4%, which is about £1,000 or $1,000 basically. I would accidentally say pounds, but this is in dollars. And what it is, virtual allows you, especially with eToro, to paper trade and have a look at how you invest, and you can use your strategy to basically see other stocks and see where you could lose money, where you can gain money with your strategy before using your actual money. But let's just say I've logged in for my first time and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing. Well, it's quite simple. So on the left hand side, you have your home page, your watch list, which you can add stocks that you might want to have a little look at, which I love it, how it takes some time to load. As you can see, I'm looking at a few companies, Airbus, Tesco's, for example. And of course, you've got your portfolio screen for the assets that you invest in. But for your screen might be blank because you haven't invested anything just yet. So what you need to do is you need to hit deposit funds. And what you can have your GBP account if you're in the UK, and you can invest in your British pounds, or you can convert it into US dollars. Now, for example, most of my viewers are from America, so we will continue in the USD account. Now, for example, I want to invest my £1,000 into the account, which will relate to 1,340. Now, of course, you put your details in, an example, and then, of course, it will go into there. You'll get a notification saying that it's gone through, and you'll sit on your £1,000. Well, what do I do then with my £1,000? You know, I've got this £1,000 sitting in, and there's a lot of people talking. There's a lot of flashing lights, and there's a lot of numbers on my screen. Well, yes, you are correct, but you don't want to go into anything ridiculous because somebody, if you scroll down, has gone, "Oh, I want to invest in Bitcoin." Well, if you type in Bitcoin, for example, you might see if you invest £1,000 yesterday or the last week, you'd have actually lost 24%. Now, of course, some of you might already know that, what your risk control is, and this might be in your category, which I can 100% agree with, but for me, crypto isn't a thing. So, if you are a US investor, and I will cover this in more detail later on in the portfolio, you can have VOO, which is the S&P 500 by Vanguard. Now, of course, I'm a UK investor, which is a bad thing for me because they only do it in CFDs. So, but if you're a US, as we are covering, if I put my £1,000 in, and I can decide if I want to take profit at a certain price, but I won't. Now, my opening cost is spread of $1.51, but what I need to do is click buy. Now, of course, I already have it on my paper traded, but as you can see, your trade would come up here. So today I invested 1.5962, which is the shares at a $626 price, and there's my value. So already I'm down 0.31% because I've opened a spread. But if you're in the UK, of course, then you can use the SP5.L, which is a UK-friendly ETF. Now, at the time of the recording, the UK market is closed, so I will have to have a pending order, which is fine because when the market does reopen, if I go in my portfolio and I do orders, this will open at the market bell. So don't worry indeed. So that is pretty much investing on eToro. It's pretty much simple, and I like the way it's so simple, so easy, and basically efficient for me to see what I need. So profit, loss, invested, net value. And if you were wondering if you want to see on your profile, then of course it's in the top left screen, which is blurred, so you guys can't find me on eToro. But there, your profile stats are there. Now, let's just go over to Robinhood quickly, and I'll show you what you can do on there. so we are on Robinhood right now, and as you can see, I've only got a penny in my account because I've only just opened the account. And basically, as I mentioned before we covered into these, if you go in the links down below, there is an option where if you fund your account and open a Robinhood, then you get some free shares. It also helps the channel as well. So if you want free shares, because of course you guys want free money, then go down in below. But as you've noticed in the video before, it will cover all the terms and conditions that you need to worry about for that offer. But of course, don't miss out. So if you want to know, the links are down in the description or in the pinned comment, which you can comment down and say that you've opened a Robinhood account. So you're wondering, how can I invest on Robinhood? As a bit more different than in Toro. The screen's a little bit different, and the tickers are on the right hand side instead of on the top. Well, yes, but all you need to do on Robinhood is if you scroll down, you can click deposit. And if you click deposit, it will come up saying deposit Moneyhood into Robinhood. And then what you need to do is type in how much you want. So let's say I want to invest my £1,000. Then, of course, I can click review, and it will come up saying that it can happen. Now, of course, it will come up with all your details saying you want to make sure that it's from Nationwide, and then it will pay from Robinhood because I'm a Nationwide banker. But of course, it'll come up and then you get £1,000 and all that, etc. Now, let me just cancel that because I do not want to be charged £1,000 at this moment in time. And then, of course, what you do is you want to pick a stock. Well, in the UK, we can't invest in ETFs at this moment in time on Robinhood, but you can click stocks. Now, a really good stock at this moment in time is Google. Bit of a monopoly of search and order. Now, what you can do over here in the right hand side, it says buy in dollars or buy in shares, but you want to do dollars really because that's how much you know your money is got. Now, of course, if I did £1,000, that would buy me 3 shares, well, just over 3 shares in Google. What you need to do is then click review order, and it will be open onto there. Now, of course, I don't have £1,000, so the order won't open. But that is basically eToro and Robinhood Masterclass for anybody wondering how to invest. Now, let me get into the PowerPoint and let's see what you need to learn and what you need to watch out for, because it's very risky business investing in stocks over ETFs. So let's get into it. Right, so we are back on our PowerPoint where we left off on the get started thing. And now if you didn't want to miss on all the options that you can get, you can feel free to pause at any time to see all your options. Now, tips for beginners in my eyes. Now, I would say start small. Now, don't risk more than what you can afford. And a lot of people do that at the start. They decide to risk more because they like to gamble. They think investing and gambling is the same thing. Well, to be fair, it kind of is, but not if you use a smart way to do so. And that comes on to option 4 when we get there. Number 2, diversify. Don't put all your money into one stock. So, as I mentioned in the video, Google is a good stock, but don't put £1,000 if you don't want to put it all in on one stock. You can diversify. That means basically you can decide to put £500 into Google, but you could do 250 into like Better or 250 into Coke. You know, stocks that you might know about. Because it comes on to option 3, think long term. Don't try and time the market. Just because a stock is going up or down doesn't mean it's going to do that forever. So if you think that in 5 years' time that it will be 100% more than what it's worth, then of course that's a good way to think about it. Don't think, oh, in 2 months' time I would have doubled my money, because 9 out of 10 it don't work. Now, number 4, use ETFs. That's my main point. Please, if you can, use ETFs. That's why I think eToro is a good idea, especially if you're a UK investor. But if you're a US investor as well, it is quite good indeed. And it's the base way to invest in multiple companies at once. So you get a wide range of diversification without having to buy every single stock. And of course, keep learning, read books, follow market news, and study companies. That's the best way to do so. And of course, common mistakes to avoid. Don't go on Google or Twitter and see somebody going, oh, this stock is going to 100x in 2 days, or like Bitcoin does, like the people say, oh, it's going to 100 times in tomorrow by Christmas or something. It doesn't normally happen. Panic selling during market dips, don't worry if the market goes down. Buy more shares. When Warren Buffett used to say, buy when everyone is fearful and be fearful when everyone is greedy. Now, invest in money you can't afford to lose, and ignoring fees and tax implications, because of course that could lead you into serious trouble. So, beginner-friendly investment ideas. So I've got a few here in front of me that you could have a look at. So in the UK, you've got the FTSE 100 ETF, or the iShares MSCI World ETF. In the US, you've got the SP 500, SPY, or the VOO, or you've got the total stock market in VTI. And of course, individual stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Tesco's, and Unlivia. I knew I was going to butcher that name, but they are very good, well-known stocks and very good for investments. But remember, disclaimer, it's not a financial advisor or an investable professional, so please just take this as educational and informational purposes only, and please do your own research. Now, what did you think of this video? If you think that investing in stocks is now for you and it's good, then leave a like, hit the subscribe button. But please remember to start small, learn as you go, and let time work for you. But if you find this useful, then of course turn on notifications for more tips from me. And comment down below if you've already started investing or like to know what you went for and what ETFs or stocks that you went to buy. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one.